Remember my words. Watch the wrath of the Lord Jesus Christ fall on David Wood, Mike Jones, GodLogic, Thaddeus, all this cult group. They're all part of it. Just watch. These are dogs. And sadly, Logic is part of the grift. He is Anakin to his Yoda. I pray he repents and asks for forgiveness. You sold out, sucker. But it didn't bode well for him either.
Exactly.
And as a PhD from Harvard, it didn't go well.
Well, there you have it, guys. Islam has been in shambles for a while now. In the debate scene, it has not been going well. We got a few volunteers here already. So wherever Jay is, we're still waiting on him. So everybody pray that Jay gets there and hating. Oh, thanks, Jay. I appreciate it. All right, so let's go ahead and let's see here. So we got Muslim Magar, and then we got Anam. So Muslim Magar first, and then Anam, you'll be next. And then as well, hold on, let me set
What do you
this.
see on? I only see in the private chat Muslim Magar, or maybe because he's commented. All right.
I can see the people, I guess. Yeah, I can see the guess. Let's see. Jesus Reigns. Jalen says, I have been exploring Catholicism, but I have some questions. How could I ask Sam?
You can't. Guys, can I share with you guys? Let me just say this real quick. Can you guys not come on a neutral platform where it's open for all various Trinitarian denominations? GodLogic's channel invites all Trinitarians of various flavors. You don't come and ask me about Catholicism on this channel. And secondly, you want to find out about Catholicism, you can go to William Albrecht, Patristic Pillars. He has live Q&A. Guys, this is a neutral platform. The brother is a Trinitarian. He invites all Trinitarians, evangelicals, Orthodox, Catholic. Don't come here and ask me about questions about Catholicism, because what you're going to do now, you're going to be used of the devil inadvertently to cause now Christians to start condemning each other in the comment section, and the Muslims laugh. Wisdom.
Yeah. Wisdom, ladies and gents. But it's all good. All right, so we're gonna bring up Muslim. I can't see the name, but I'll bring you up in just a second. I'm just fixing this layout here. And all right. There we go. So where is it at? All right, there we are. All right, so let's go ahead. How you doing, man? Hold on a second. I shouldn't have. Hold on, I'm gonna bring you up in a second. We shouldn't be able to see you. I'm trying to make sure.
You know how to do it to prevent them from flashing you, like.
Yes, that's what I'm trying to set it up as.
So you just go up real quick, and he'll be in the background.
No, hold on. There's a set where I can lay out the layout without even having to do that.
Oh, really?
Or I can just be S2, and they'll just be audio. Yeah, so I'm just trying to fix that up here. In the meantime, I'm gonna get this together. What was you just going through on your last live?
I was going to go on what the early Christian writers said about Daniel's Trinitarianism, Messianism, but God had me go super. I mean, it was super in depth on the internal miraculous structure of the Bible as proof of its inspiration. It was. I would recommend all Christians to watch it. Really, it's the way God designed these books. You can see God's hand behind them, but for His glory, it's miraculous. This collection. But with that said, I'll follow your lead, mister. I guess Jay forgot us, huh? What happened, Jay? Shoot.
Maybe he's asleep. Maybe Jay is asleep, man. He's asleep. He knocked out.
All right.
This is crazy.
Oh, this is what it is.
All right. It looks like
he's here. Jay's here. He's here.
Oh, there we go. Now that works. There we go. So now I can do it.
He's a handsome light brown hair dude. He's right there. Here we go. Shoot.
I wrote down the wrong day, so I thought it was tomorrow, but no, I remembered.
Oh, so you did remember us, but you just wrote down the wrong day.
I did. Nice. I'm sorry.
Nice. It's okay. I forgive you, man. I forgive you. Good to have you here. What's up, man? You doing all right?
Doing great. Yeah, just been super, super busy. I'm glad to be back with you guys, though.
For sure. All right, so we got Muslim Magar on the panel. How you doing, man?
Hello. How you guys doing?
Pretty good, man. Pretty good. So what did you have a question for us? Did you want to bring in evidence on Islam being true? What you got?
Since you guys are on the opposite, how about you guys start this?
Is this Zach?
Who? What are you talking about, man?
Zach, why do you keep trying to come up on different names and different, Why do you keep doing that?
Because you guys are cowards. And you guys
Yeah,
are pagans.
that's why we're hiding behind the camera.
Yeah.
Well, if you guys got the balls to
Down,
talk,
girl.
we'll
Down, girl. I got a snack for you. Down, girl.
Yeah, Sam, how's the plumber? How's the plumber being
Ask
your
my
wife?
mother. She knows. She's been writing him.
Thanks for coming, man. So there was a Zach that converted to Christianity. I confused it with that Zach. That's not the right one. But okay. Yes. So
Don't
now
you
that
love me?
Jay's
I'm politically correct. I'm the bad cop to your good cop.
Oh, absolutely, man. And by the way, you will be proven to be a false prophet, just letting you know.
Exactly. Happy birthday, Mohammed. It's his birthday day, Friday the 13th.
Yeah. Let's bring Anam up. How you doing, Anam?
Hey guys, how's it going?
Pretty good, pretty good. Hold on, I can put you on the big screen too. There you go.
Nice to see you again, brother Sam and Jay. My first time meeting you, but I saw you did a debate with Corrigian, the set of a contest. You did an amazing job, I thought, Jay.
Oh yeah, that was about 5 years ago. Thank you. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Oh, really?
Are you the one that has been with David Wood and Posse Prophet?
No, I spoke to David Wood once, but I'm the Trinitarian Muslim, so we had a nice talk. And then you came on Avery's show.
Yeah, that's I got you
took over
confused.
the debate. So and I'm intimidated because I have both of you. I wasn't expecting Jay, but I'm still a Muslim nominally, even though I've come to realize that I was mistaken in being against the Trinity. I mean, to help Jay, because Jay doesn't know me or about me, I had a religious experience when I was about 22 years old. So I believe, Christ kind of, spoke to me, I guess, without words or without seeing him. Oh. And I realized, ever since I was 14, I would look at the New Testament and I would try to memorize the subordinationist arguments, and I knew all of them. And then one day, I feel like the Holy Spirit just hit me on the head with a 2x4. And that kind of bless you.
So how are you still a Muslim if you're Trinitarian? That's weird.
Yeah, it is. I'll concede to you. I'm definitely a church of one, and I'm not happy about that position. But I would say though, yes, in the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Ghost.
All right. That's
so, and nomine Patri et Filii et Spiritus Sancti is also a good formula. But but I feel like, I would submit you guys this thesis, just to not to, because also one of the things is, you guys have a hard job, Avery too. It's you deal with trolls, insincere people, personal attacks, abuse. And, I remember even Jay, he was being picked on for, smoking weed or something by his opponent. So it's so facetious. Nobody wants to talk about the arguments. Yeah. They just want to talk about extraneous stuff. So, but
Jay, pass the ganja, Jay.
So,
I become a Rasta man. Me no longer is in the church. Me now in the Jamaican church where we can do what we want, brother.
One thing though, I would, because, and one of the things I like to come on Avery's show is because you guys take so much abuse. I just like to come up and have a different kind of conversation. Can
you give me a hug? Because I need a hug because I've been abused so bad.
We need a safe space.
You had a great discussion with Dr. Khalil Andani, though. I really like that discussion. And by the way, I find myself agreeing with you most of the time, brother Sam. So,
but I do need a hug because that plumber really did a number on me.
Oh my God.
So the thing is that, could I submit to you guys maybe a thesis, right? Because I feel like Islam is an offshoot of Christianity. I know all my Muslim brothers would not like me for saying that. And I know we don't want to say that because obviously our first thing is that, we're not derivative, but I feel like, especially when you look at Orthodox, Christianity and the monastic tradition, monks were so important in the 3rd, 4th, 5th centuries. Saint Isaac of Nineveh, Saint Gregory of Nyssa, the Codex Sinaiticus was written by the monastery at St. Catherine's in the Sinai. So if you didn't have this monastic tradition, people who just gave up the world for Christ, you really wouldn't have that was so important in the first few centuries of Christianity. And it's hard for us to fathom today because, who wants to live in a monastery now? It's not really.
Are you affirming the monastic life?
Yeah, I think. I mean, I would love to discern it. I
So
do.
you mean 57:27 the Quran, where it says they invented it.
Yeah, but hold on. It also says though, God will accept it of them
Okay.
because of their good
If
intentions.
they do it rightly, yeah. If they do it correctly,
Yeah.
but that's what I'm
It
saying.
doesn't condemn them for being celibate, by the way, even though God never told them to be
What
celibate.
are you selling?
What am I selling?
Because you said you sell a bit. What are you selling?
No, celibate means no sex.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm a little under the weather. I'm sorry.
No worries. No worries. Yeah. So so the thing is that I would like to suggest to you guys. I'd like to suggest to you guys, that Islam was deeply influenced by these Christian monastics. And in fact, even yesterday, Avery was talking about the story of Alexander arriving at the setting of the sun in the muddy spring. And that comes from an Aramaic tradition of where Alexander finds the sun setting in the spring of muddy water. So I feel like, this.
Brother, before you move on, you really confuse me because
I know.
you're an amazing different. So you're admitting Dhul Qarnayn is Alexander the Great?
Yeah, I don't see who else it could be.
Dude, you're not a Muslim anymore. So why don't you just give it up?
I know Avery's trying to tell me the same thing. Avery,
You're not a Muslim because you're admitting to everyone in chapter 18, read 83 to 98, Dhul Qarnayn, the two-horned one, is Alexander. And yet all the evidence we have is that Alexander was not a believer, in spite of what later legends say. And the Quran says that he was a believer who followed Allah. But historically, that's not the case, right?
Yeah, I mean, historically, he probably wasn't.
So then you're saying the Quran is wrong. So how are you following the Quran?
Like I said, that is okay. You do have me nailed there, brother Sam. I would just say this, right? Like, I think he was kind of like a pluralist king, and maybe he might have had like a monotheistic ethic. I don't know, but he was marrying Persian wives out of like practicality. You had to marry, he had the largest landmass empire the world ever had.
But
Anam, it's over. Repeat after me, man. Ashadu.
Okay, wait, hold on. Okay, you know what? Actually, so if you want to go, okay, I don't want to go. If you want to, if that's a discussion, Life was having me repeat after him too, right? But right. But the thing is, though, I don't want to have that discussion about how you enter Christianity, right? Because in other words, with all due respect, right, my religion's the one that you enter faith upon giving testimony as witness. Your religion, especially in the 7th century, the way you enter the faith is through baptism of water. So
yeah, but if you're a convert, it's not either or, because if you read Romans 10, 9 to 13, and Romans 6, 3 to 6, and Acts 22, 16, in your act of baptism, there has to be a confession. There is a confession that you confess with your mouth Jesus Lord and call upon his name. That's done at baptism. If you look at Acts 22, 16, with Paul's own conversion, which he mentions Romans 6, 3 to 6, and Romans 10, 9 to 13. So in your act of baptism, you have to make that confession. Because you're a convert, you're not an infant. We're not baptizing as an infant.
Yeah. I have.
So what's stopping you?
Well, could I feel like, okay, what's stopping me is, I was telling this Avery yesterday. Actually, so I grew up in a Muslim family, Muslim culture, Muslim tradition. I liked most of it, right? It gave me my morality, and not for nothing, right? Islam actually teaches you to study the other religions, right? To read those holy books and to analyze them and to in other words, Islam gave me, even though, like I said, I was combative against Christianity in my teenage years, and then later I came to realize that I was wrong in my criticism, and that I thought the New Testament was a jumble of contradictions, but when you read it with faith, you see that it's a cohesive whole. It's telling you, the Gospels paint an image, a stereo image of the Christ. So it's very valuable to read those works. But I would say, though, okay, so growing up Muslim, I feel like this is where I'm at right now, right? Islam started as a Christian movement composed of mostly monastics, monks, monk types, people who were just borrowing from monasteries, which are the culture centers of literacy back then. And then it eventually morphed into this combative relationship with Christianity. But it used to be somewhat conciliatory even. And then later you have this like antagonism. So I feel like I'm part of the I feel like original Islam would have been adjacent to Christianity. And like for example, when you bring up the argument,
let me interject real quickly.
Go ahead.
If you're going by the earliest evidence, and Jay is the expert in this area, but John of Damascus, John the Damascene, 8th century, 700s, writing in Syria, says that Muhammad was actually preaching Arianism, that there was a monk who was of the persuasion of Arianism, taught what Arius taught, and that's what Islam is. So he agrees that it's a sect of Islam, but it's Arian, but you're Trinitarian.
Hey Sam, after this point, we're gonna move on to the next guest, okay? So
but let me just if you're a Trinitarian Muslim, you're not even faithful to the type of Islam that Islam claimed to be. In other words, if I go by John of Damascus, Islam is an Arian sect. So you would not be a Trinitarian, you'd be an Arian, but you're not an Arian, you're a Trinitarian. So historically, you're out of Islam, no matter how you slice it.
One thing I'll add to, just to back up Sam's point, is that a lot of people for a long time had contentions with that claim of St. John Damascus that it was Arian and Nestorian monastics that influenced early Islam. But the present day Oxford Handbook of Islam, the whole chapter on early Islam in that book actually vindicates John Damascus, and today's scholars admit that it was early Arian Nestorian Christianity that influenced Muhammad.
And to confirm a little further, there is a statement in the Hadith where when Muhammad is supposedly writing to Heraclius, I say supposedly, he then says if he doesn't accept his conditions, then the guilt of the Arasiyin will fall on you. That's the word, Arasiyin. There are scholars like Ibn Yasir Qadi who claim that Arasiyin means what was done to the followers of Arius because of Byzantine Christianity. That judgment will fall on you. So if we go with that statement, that means Muhammad thought he was defending the followers of Arius.
Very interesting.
So you got it, buddy. You're Trinitarian.
I read in a that's a valid point. But I would just the only thing I would say, and then Avery wants to move on to the next guest. I want to be respectful to my host. St. John of Damascus, his work was called The Heresy of the Ishmaelites. So that is the thesis that I'm proposing, that this is an Ishmaelite heresy, rather than
you're a Trinitarian.
Right. But
faithful to historic Islam.
I got you. Beautiful talking to you guys. Nice meeting you, brother Jay. Have a great evening.
See you later, Nam. Peace. Good to see you again, man.
Wow. I'm baffled, dude. But hey, man, hopefully he'll get baptized soon. Let's see. We'll see. I don't know.
We'll see.
Trinitarian Muslim. Okay.
The Trinitarian Muslim. That's right. All right. Mills, you are on the panel. How you doing? Mills, you're on the panel.
I'm doing great.
You are Muslim, is that correct?
Yes.
Welcome. So we're just here. We're inviting you to give us the best reason why Islam is true. So what would you say is the best reason why you believe Islam is true?
Maybe I won't go that broad because I'm not yet fully studied, but I'll start with this, that for me, I think Muhammad is a true prophet. And maybe you let me land with few points.
Just give me one. Just give me one reason why you believe Muhammad is a true prophet, and we'll start there.
Now, I'm going to approach it from a negative aspect. I'm not going to approach it from a positive aspect. Then when I'm approaching it from a negative aspect, then compared to the Bible, to someone
it's okay. I just need a reason why you think Muhammad's a true prophet. We'll work from there, bro.
So one, it talks about Moses and it talks about the prophets of God, and there is some kind of morality to what he brings, although there's a lot of negative things that he does, and that's why I'm telling you I'm going to approach it from there. We can look at the life of David. David has also committed some of those crimes. Solomon has committed some of the sins, and I'm not trying to
pause for a second. When David committed those crimes, did God rebuke him and chasten him?
Absolutely.
When Solomon committed those crimes, did God chasten and rebuke him?
Absolutely.
But when your prophet lusted for his adopted son's wife and then abolished adoption after marrying her, Did Allah rebuke him, or did Allah make that part of the divine legislation?
Allah picked it as a part of, he told him, you shouldn't be afraid to do this.
Exactly.
That he has already planned for this to happen. So
I want everyone to hear what you said. Allah already planned for Muhammad to commit adultery in his heart, lust for a married woman, and lust for his adopted son's wife, causing the divorce, to marry her and then destroy adoption. So your God decreed this, so how can it be the God of the Bible?
I'm just coming with a claim that when God decrees something, this is my claim, this is my particular claim. When God decrees something, you as a human, you have no authority to say that it's not moral. In fact, I'm just trying to say God
Actually,
is
I
the
do
one
have
who
a
gives
basis.
morality.
Well, my basis is, I don't assume God decreed it. That's the argument, what he's giving you. Prove to us Allah is the God who decreed it, because you went to the Bible. When I look at the character of the God of the Bible, he condemns what your God had your prophet do. So they're not the same God. So why should we believe Muhammad?
I'm just trying to say that there is a particular claim that Allah is the most powerful, is the all-knowing, and is the omnipresent God. So when I'm putting that claim
You believe
down,
Allah's omnipresent? I don't mean, because you're making, I don't mean to cut you up, but I'm trying to see, because you believe Allah's present everywhere?
oh come on, like you're going
No, I'm
touch
asking
me.
you. What do you mean, come on? The Salafis don't believe that. They'll sell
Oh,
you for a fee, but they don't believe that.
Sam, let's just go with a simple
But
argument.
I need to know what you believe,
Maybe
because
I'm
the
not sure about
Salafi,
that.
see again, the Salafis say Allah is present by his knowledge, but he himself is not omnipresent. Do you believe that?
No, I've just retracted my statement. I've just said that
Okay.
I'm not sure about the omnipresent, so I don't feel like maybe you need to go hard on me on that. But
Okay,
my
no, I'm
claim
just
is
going to go ahead. Go ahead.
my claim is so simple that God has that power to declare the things that you perceive as wrong. He can declare them as right, because initially we know so well that morality depends on God. So you can't make a claim that one day God now decides something that you've been thinking that it's immoral. Now he turns it another day, he makes it to be moral. So then you have to be wondering, like, oh, like now God has now become immoral, when you know so well is the source of morality. So in this specific context where Sam has brought up, where the issue with Zaid and Muhammad, I'm just trying to put that concept and in that context, that day God decided that giving the wife of Zaid to Muhammad is something that was necessary. I don't know how it was necessary, but I'm very specific with the.
I want
With
everyone to
this.
hear what you said. You're admitting Allah gave a man's wife to your prophet.
That's what's written. Like it's right there. I can't deny that.
So you admit that, but then the example was, and then Jay is the one who knows logic. He can then come and put those. But I just want everyone to hear this. I'm glad you're honest enough to admit that. But the example for Muhammad doing was that, according 33:37, was so that he could set an example for other men to also marry the divorced wives of their adopted sons, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, good. You're honest. I really respect that, because I have to force myself to admit that now. But then you then know that then right afterwards, abolish adoption, right?
Exactly. I know that.
Oh, good. You know this. So then what kind of example was Muhammad setting by marrying the divorced wife of his adopted son so that other people can do it when Allah knew he's going to abolish adoption?
This kind of feels like, like a long-term effect on the things, because I'm going to be very honest. I don't know what's the purpose or what's the principle that Allah is trying to play with us there about giving Zaid's wife to Muhammad. But yeah, I want you to hear me out. I want you to hear me out. Like
Can I ask one more question? And I'll hear you out. Just one more question.
Okay.
One more. And I promise I'll let you out. Here's it. So Allah took a woman. Okay. Zayd was married to this woman and he was intimate with her. Now Zayd has to look to that woman as his mother, even though at one time he was intimate with her and having sex. Don't you think there's something weird with that picture? A woman that I slept with and had sex with, now she's one of the mothers of the believers, and I have to look at her as my mother. So you don't have a problem with that picture?
You do realize that I admitted that, okay, personally I don't agree with that, with the whole of that concept. Personally I don't agree with it, but I want you to hear me out. Just give me this time, hear me out a bit. Personally I don't agree with that whole concept of Zaid's wife becoming Muhammad's wife, but hear me out. My point is, God can decide one day that killing all humans on earth is moral, then he can do it. I want you to hear me from that perspective. He can decide one day killing all humans on planet earth is moral, then he can do it. Then we have nothing against him. Although you guys can come across then say that, okay, that's not God, but we know so well that God one day can decide that. It's an open possibility. Then I'm going to tie you to the issue of David and Bathsheba. When David commits adultery with Bathsheba, God knows it's a sin, and God comes and rebukes David about it. After he rebukes David about it, there is a punishment that David faces, and that punishment is that Bathsheba gives birth and the child dies. I don't know if I'm correct on that.
Yeah, 2 Samuel 12. Yeah, what about it?
Okay. So take it from this perspective. Bathsheba gives birth, the child dies. We know back then God says no child will be paying for the sin of who?
Yeah, you're going to another Ezekiel 18 to run. You're taking those out of context. So I mean, you're jumping from here and here.
I'm going to bring the argument to the issue of Zaid. I'm going to bring it back. I'm going to harmonize it.
There's no moral equivalence. Let me explain why.
I'm going to harmonize it. Just let me
address your false analogy. I know you want to preach, but take it easy. It's not just preaching.
No. Let me finish the argument.
Okay.
So the point is, there is a time that God said that it's moral to not punish the child in place of the father. But today, in terms of David, God has decided.
You're misquoting. This is the third time I just told you. You're misquoting Deuteronomy 5.
Go ahead. I'm listening.
Deuteronomy 24:16, and you're misapplying Ezekiel 18. So this is why I say, stop preaching. Let me correct your mistake. The mistake you're making is, so you cut me off. We're not having a conversation. Do you want to go preach to Shabir Ali? Let me address your mistake. If you read Ezekiel 18 in context, that has nothing to do with whether someone's actions can affect someone else, good or bad. In other words, if I'm a drunk driver and I smash into a car and I kill everyone in that car, they suffer because of my sin, but they're not punished for my sin. I'll be held accountable for that sin. You're confusing apples and pineapples. Now, let me come back and address why God took that child, because this is the mercy of God. I'll explain why. If that child was allowed to be lived, that would be a stigma, because everyone would know that child is the fruit of adultery. So God in his mercy could take that child in a state of grace. That child now would dwell with God, because we're not atheists. We believe in an afterlife. That child now lives with God, and he's not punished. But that child is spared the scorn and the stigma of being oppressed and being viewed as a bastard seed of an adulterous relationship. But you don't see the wisdom of God because you're not reading the scripture in its context.
Oh, come on. Okay, I'm listening. I'm listening right now. I think this is part of learning, so I'm kind of listening. So I feel
I think there's another mistake that's being made, which is that in the argument that you gave, if I understood it, about the situation of Zaid, you were likening it to God flooding the world. It's not a situation where something is moral or immoral just based on God's arbitrary decree at that moment. The reason that the world was flooded was because humans were wicked. So it's an action of justice. And the same situation with these other cases, like when God makes these judgments, it's because of sin and wickedness. It's not that he's arbitrarily just deciding, okay, right now this is good, and then tomorrow I'm going to switch and this is going to be evil tomorrow. So good can't become evil and evil can't become good.
Okay, I'm getting that one. But you do agree with me that there is morality is tied to God, and when Muslims, us as Muslims, come across and say that, okay, you guys know that morality is tied to God. We are saying that God has declared this to be moral. We are getting our moral. We are making a claim that this moral authority, this action of moral authority, we are tying it to the most powerful God, who is Allah. So
but
I don't know if
you
you guys are
believe
getting
that
my
it's
argument.
just what he decrees. That's called theological voluntarism, and so Allah could decree the evil's good or that good is evil. We don't believe that. We believe that things have natures, they have qualities. God can't lie and say that good suddenly today is evil, and then in 3 years, oh, now actually I've changed my mind. Now evil is actually good. Why? Because, as Paul says, it is impossible for God to lie because God's character dictates his actions. Because he has a holy nature, holy character, he will never do something evil or declare good to be evil. But as I understand your Quran, Allah is actually a really cunning deceiver, and he tricks people with phantasms of Jesus being, killed on the cross, but it didn't really happen. So you actually have a God who literally engages in deception and lies. We don't.
It's not the same.
Okay. But okay. That
Can you
point.
give us
Okay,
some
maybe
positive proof
I'm
that
kind of
Muhammad is a
getting.
prophet? Because we spent 20 minutes on morality. He wants an argument for why Muhammad is a prophet. Can you give us at least something so we don't talk about morality and how it can change depending on circumstances because Allah can do what he wants? What's the proof Muhammad is a prophet? Because that's what gave
One
him.
of the, I'll just go with the kind of influence that he has. It's kind of parallel to the kind of influence that Jesus has. So I don't know if God is just sitting down, and if Muhammad was a false prophet, I don't know if God is just sitting down and saying that, okay, this man is so powerful, is overtaking me in terms of people who are believing in him and the impact that he has. I don't know if how you guys can
So
explain
all
that.
of the people who believe in false polytheistic religions, are they also of God? Does that prove that polytheism is true? Because probably a majority of the world still believes in some kind of polytheism.
Yeah, like Hinduism, right?
I wouldn't talk for Hinduism because I don't know anything about Hinduism. But if they
But do you
brought
understand
for
the
me,
point, though? Because the point is that the argument that you made was that God wouldn't allow this influence to be there unless it was of God. And by the same token, Hinduism has duped millions, perhaps billions of people. So why isn't Hinduism true?
Yeah. Especially in India, the militant Hindus are persecuting Muslims, Christians. They seem to be dominant.
but that one is on a scale of India. So on a scale of of the whole earth, it depends. I don't know if you guys are getting my argument. My argument is,
That's an arbitrary
this
point. That's
different
why it
sect.
doesn't work. It's a bad argument because it's arbitrary. So, like, what's the number by which is it? What, 2 billion? If 2 billion people believe it, then it's true and of God. 1 billion. That's the point. Is that it's arbitrary. It doesn't make any sense. It's not going to be proven by the number of people. So, what, the religion becomes true when 1 billion and one person believe it? I mean, this is a silly argument.
My friend, I think you have a good argument. Why don't you come back so others can ask questions? We appreciate you, but we've been spending time on numbers and situational ethics.
Would you allow me to ask one question on the Bible?
It depends. I don't know. Go ahead. It's up to the moderator.
It's up to you guys. If y'all want to continue with it, should we move on?
Go ahead.
Only one question on the Bible. Like I kind of met a contradiction, so you guys might explain to me.
Contradiction of the Bible?
Yeah. So let me just get the verse right now.
Yeah. Okay.
So we're keeping them?
Yeah, I let them bring it because that's all they can do is bring alleged errors of the Bible, but they don't understand this is the burial of the Janazah of Muhammad. That's why, like this guy's talking about scribal error and Ezra. These guys don't get it, but it's tiring, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, but go ahead. He's now going to maybe.
So the first one.
No, first one, we don't have 50,000.
50,
yeah, just give me one so I can show why Muhammad is in hell.
Matthew 10:9-10.
No. Go ahead,
yeah. So, where? Matthew 10, 9 to 10,
Yeah, no.
it's
Yeah.
talking about, go out, don't go with a staff. Then Luke,
Oh, but then it says take a staff.
Then-
Never heard that before. No. Never heard that before because
then
number one, yeah, I know.
9. I'm just want to hear how you guys harmonize that.
Yeah, buddy, I know the argument before Muhammad had Jibreel descend upon him and squeeze him to the point that he thought he was going to die. This objection has already been answered. But one second, brother, before I answer, because I just want to screen share for a minute. 1 second. I'm going to screen share. Okay, I want you to listen. Now, if the Bible has a contradiction, because this is why I don't waste time with Muslims who ask contradiction, not because we don't answer, because I'm going to show you now. Now, do me a favor, Avery. I'm going to open this up right here. Now, can you open up my screen? Gee, I've never heard this argument before. In Jesus' commission to 12 disciples, were they or were they not to take staff? Damn, this guy caught me. He slammed me. All right, now, the answer is simple. If you look at the particular Greek words used by different authors, they're not communicating the same point. If we look at the Greek terminology, it means do not take an extra staff. But I'm not here and I don't have time to unpack it. The article's there. I'm going to concede your argument. There's a contradiction. Why are you still a Muslim? Because there's two reasons I'm asking. Number one, if the Quran tells the Jews and Christians that they are nothing until they uphold the Torah and the gospel and all the revelation given to them. Surah Al-Ma'idah, 568. And we're told that the Quran confirms what is between his hands. And that's all throughout the Quran. I mean, I can give you the list. All right, just give you a few. Surah Al-Ma'idah, 548. Surah Al-Imran, chapter 3, verse 3. You can include 4. We can go to Surah Al-Baqarah. But I've done this so many times. The only scriptures that these Christians had at the time of Muhammad, I need you to listen to me. The only scriptures that the Christians had at the time of Muhammad are Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, and the rest. You just told me they have contradictions. But Muhammad says that Allah commands them to uphold the gospel and all the revelation that has come to them. So if I'm a Christian, I hear Muhammad say, hey, Baldy, you Assyrian heretic, yeah? You need to follow the Torah and gospel, all the revelation that's with you. Oh, so I follow my New Testament. So Allah's telling me to follow this New Testament. You're telling me it has contradictions. So is Allah wrong and you know more than Allah?
Okay, I totally get your point, but so you admit it's a I want to make I want to.
Do you see the answer in front of your eyes, or are you blinded by the jinn?
So you admit it's a contradiction. I want just to make a name of that.
Did you hear? I just posted the article that answers the contradiction in front of your eyes, or is the jinn blinding you? It's right there on the screen. Do you see the answer? Here, right here. Did you repeat what my answer was to you to see if you're even listening? I just said we've answered the contradiction, but I said that I'm not wasting my time answering because if there's a contradiction, you admit Muhammad is in hell and Allah is Satan because Allah didn't know what he's talking about. So do you admit Allah's stupid?
Actually, that's not my whole point. My whole point was to ask a question. Do you recognize it as a contradiction or is there an explanation to it?
Yes, there's right here. But I want you to say, because you're Muslim, I want you to say, I reject Islam and the Quran because the Quran is wrong about the Gospels. So then we can put that aside and then I can answer if you sincerely want to believe the Bible. So do you agree Muhammad doesn't know what he's talking about?
I kind of feel what you're saying, but I wanted.
You agree he's wrong because he says the Bible is the uncorrupt, preserved words of God.
He's not wrong on that. He's not wrong on that. When he says
but
the
you
Bible,
just said that Matthew contradicts Mark and Luke. So wait, he's not wrong that the Bible is the Word of God, and at the same time, you just said that Bible has contradictions. So you mean Allah's okay with contradictions?
No, I didn't make an assertion. In fact, I gave those specific verses to ask you because I feel like you know more about it. To ask you, is it a contradiction? So if it's a contradiction, then I'm going to make my claim. If it's not, I cannot make my claim.
It's not a contradiction because if you read the article, then right here, you're going to see that the Greek words employed, taumai, airo, different words used in the context. And when you look at how the words are used, you're going to note that a careful reading of the different Greek wording implies that the instruction means you don't take an extra staff, because the words employed will give you that interpretation as the entire article shows. Take up. But the whole point is there's an answer.